Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining us on the YouTube channel, make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe. Really do appreciate everything when it comes to how you've supported us. Um, all the people who join us on the Twitter, on my Twitter handle, all the people who join us on Facebook, all the people who join us, obviously, on YouTube. You've been 10 toes down since the beginning, over 150 podcasts and still going. Make sure you check out the new gene therapy pod that just dropped. Make sure you check out the latest Zebra Strikes podcast that dropped last week. Um, it's been an interesting weekend. So, as most of you know, I am supposed to be finishing up things here and heading towards Indianapolis tomorrow for um the NFL Combine. I was very excited. It's my first opportunity. It was my first opportunity to go to the NFL Combine, and so I just thought, like, today, I would just kind of talk to you a little bit about um how sometimes life. You know what? Let me rewind. You ever get to a point where you feel like things are going really well, like you have a good handle on everything? Um, a lot of the goals that you have, you're beginning to meet. A lot of the issues that you've had, you've been able to put to the side. You've been able to overcome. You you feel like you have some direction. You feel like you have some purpose going. It feels like the stars are all aligning for you. And then all of a sudden you get hit with something that throws everything off. Well, that happened to me. I had an illness in my family um that that caused me to have to shift and make some changes and get down to a place so that I could just make sure everything was good and do whatever it is I needed to do. And it's not a bad thing for that stuff to happen, but just so you guys know, there's a chance that I may not be in Indianapolis this week. So I apologize to all the people who are looking um, to get a lot of content from me this week. I may still end up getting there. I'm not 100% sure. I may be there for a shorter amount of time than what I originally planned. I may not get there earlier as I would have liked. I might get there earlier and leave earlier. I'm not sure yet. All of this is completely fluid, but um, it's just interesting how life does that, right? Like the moment you feel like you're in the batter's box and you know what's coming, that's the time that life will throw you a curveball. And I speak about it because it's not the it's not the thing that takes you down, or the thing that hits you, or the thing that hurts you, that you have to overcome. It's the inability to overcome, right? The difference between those people who are successful and the people who fail are not that successful people never fail, is that successful people never stop trying, regardless of the situation. And I know that many of you are out there going through things, and most of the time I'm here and I might be complaining about something or talking about something that I see. Um, but it's the ability to keep going. It's the ability to keep working towards whatever that goal is that makes person A different from person B? Will is not inherent. Will is not a part of all of us. Will is something that has to be built up, in my opinion. It's something that has to be cultivated. You're not just born with will. You're not just born with grit. Shout out to, I think it's Angela Duckworth, the author of Grit. She talks about, how some people just have an ability to work through it. I think that a lot of times the way that people grow up help to build and or deteriorate their level of will or their level of grit. The way that I grew up wasn't sunshine and rainbows. I caught a few breaks along the way. I had a natural belief in myself. I had a wisdom possibly beyond what my years were to be able to continue to see what could be. And I got lucky. But every time there's the opportunity that something might shut you down or might destroy you or might set you back, you have an option. At that moment, you could either say, that's enough, it's over, I don't want to do this anymore, or you can fight. You can keep going. You can press forward. You can find a way to keep that engine roaring. You can find a way to keep that thing going. So I understand that, and I appreciate that. Shout out to Coach Butler. Anybody that knows me knows that my X and O's to Joe's is a labor of love. It's something that I really and really truly believe in. And so, hearing coaches reach back and say that I really help, that's always love. It's always love, and that's what I'm here to do. Always help. But the opportunity to continue to go. And again, the reason I bring it up here is because sports and life mimic themselves so much. They mimic each other so much, right? The ability to overcome adversity, the ability to reach beyond what someone believes your capabilities are. These are all things that you have to be able to apply in life, because life hits hard. Like there's a broken ankle in a sport. There's a ruptured Achilles in the sport. I ruptured my patella tendon twice playing basketball, doing the exact same move. There is no option but to get up. There are no other options but to get up. There are no other option but to keep going. And that's the way life happens. And when you end up in a situation where you feel like, well, dang, here's another thing that might hold me back, might stop me, might impede what it is that I want to do. Whenever you are met with another failure, whenever you are met with another thing that doesn't work out, whenever you've made the wrong decision, because we don't talk about that enough either. A lot of the things that have happened to me have been self-inflicted. And I'm pretty sure that in an honest moment, many of you would agree that some of the things negative that have happened to you have come from decisions that you've made that have not been the best decision. We don't get it right all the time. And not only do we not get it right all the time, sometimes we get it so wrong that it becomes detrimental to what it is we're doing with our life. It's okay. That's all right. That happens. And when that happens, when we find ourselves in a situation where we haven't helped our own cause, when we find ourselves in situations where things haven't worked out the way that we want them to work out, that's when we get in our bag. That's when we're allowed to, that's when we show our true strength. That's when we show our true ability to be able to withstand and overcome. When we get the opportunity to show how we rally, when we get the opportunity to show how we overcome, that's where our true strength comes from. But it's hard. It's difficult. I'm not going to sit here and say, yo, this is easy. When life hits you, sometimes you got to be like, yo, F life, and come right back hard, just right at it. Like, stare the problem in the eye, admit that it's there, and just say, this is not going to stop me. Deal with the heartache, deal with the pain, deal with the loss, and say, this is not going to stop me. Because if we look at it, that's what happens in athletics every single day. You think the Lakers right now, they just got blown out by a New Orleans Pelicans team that's not good. You think the Lakers went home and said, oh, it's over. That's it. Pack up the tents. I know that's what all of the media will say, because that's a juicy headline. The Lakers are done. I know that's what a lot of fans will say, because they're disappointed. Oh, the Lakers are done. But the Lakers are not going to say that. They're going to go out their next game and they're going to try to get a win. And when they get a win, they're going to try to get 2 in a row. And if they don't win, they're going to show up that next game and try to get another win. See, that's the part where I always say, if you get an opportunity to be an athlete, it really does help. It really does allow you to understand or to process things mentally, emotionally, and physically that push you beyond what you believe you are capable of. There's going to be no quitting the Lakers. There's going to be no quitting the Nets just because James Harden's over there in Philadelphia cooking. Make sure you check out that Gene Therapy podcast, by the way. Shout out to Malik Span, Blitz Magazine. Shout out to CWN Sports for allowing me to do my Gene Therapy column and pod. But that's what happens. They're not going to give up. The awesome thing about sports, the one thing that as a coach I would always tell you, hey man, get your kids involved, is because I understand the power that I am able to draw in my own life because of the lessons that I learned as an athlete and because of the lessons that I have taught as a coach. The reason that I am able to do what I'm able to do is specifically because I've been through things as an athlete that let me understand that this is not the end. You always have the opportunity to get up. And as long as you're breathing, you have an opportunity to be successful. So whatever it is you're dealing with on this Monday, this last day of February, this last day of Black History Month, whatever it is you're dealing with today, I want you to look that thing in the eye and tell it, yo, you will not defeat me. I am going to keep coming. Because as my boy Stallone says, that's how winning is done. That's how winning is done. The difference between those who are successful and those who fail are not that successful people don't fail. It's that successful people never stop trying. And if we all do a little bit more of that, just never stop trying. Never stop trying to be kind to people. Never stop trying to help. Never stop trying to strive for your goals. Never stop trying to be one step, 1 inch, 1 notch better than you were yesterday. Never stop going after being more educated. Never stop going after having a little bit more money in your pocket. Never stop. If we all take that mentality and point it towards the good, then we're all better for it. I really do appreciate all of you out there for taking these journeys with me. There's many more journeys to come. I'm not going to stop. So I look forward to seeing you all as I continue to go through this. But today and maybe the rest of the week, you never know, I'm a little introspective. So hang on. It should be an interesting week. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. Like, subscribe. Make sure also that you're following the podcast. If you listen to the podcast on Anchor or Spotify or Google Podcast or wherever you find a podcast from, make sure that you subscribe to the pod. We appreciate it. Until next time, peace.